Chesley Street, a district steeped in history, from the place where the Bible was first translated to a place with international tourism attractions and a sporting destination. An area of great opportunity and major challenges, with an outstanding natural environment and major transport infrastructure, to a town centre in need of modernisation and community-led regeneration at different stages of development. A district that has not had the benefit of major additional public funding, but which instead has built up a strength of community and partnership working, where people work to achieve common objectives and strive to overcome adversity. In handing over the baton to the new Durham County Council, this film represents a snapshot of the story of Chesley Street, where people from our communities give an insight into the journey they have been on, their successes and challenges achieved and overcome.
In order to understand the economy of this district, you really do need to understand the environment. Chesley Street is a small and densely populated town of about 53,000 people, which is centred both in terms of its residents and in terms of its business here in the town centre. In terms of our housing, about 70% of the population in Chesley Street live in owner-occupied housing, and house prices in this district are second only to those in Durham City when compared to the rest of the county. We have little available employment land. That which there is centred on Drum Industrial Estate and the industrial estates at Stella Girl. 70% of this district's working age population commute out of the district to work. In terms of the economy, we have quite a robust economic situation, but nevertheless it has its challenges. And if I can draw out what are probably the four of those largest challenges. The first is the stark intra-district disparities between the relatively affluent district as a whole and its very difficult pockets of deprivation. Secondly, we can do little about increasing the job density of this district. We have little employment land. Thirdly, good is not necessarily good enough. A third of our residents in this relatively affluent area have no qualifications to speak of. And finally, we have a mismatch. We have a mismatch between the skills of our workforce and the skills which our employers are looking for now and those that they tell us they will be looking for in the future. There are some tools which we have in our toolbox. We have a regeneration strategy which is being implemented and which is working. And if it continues to be implemented, there's no reason why it can't continue to work.
Our partnership work extends across residents and voluntary sector working to key businesses within our town centre, industrial estates and tourism attractions. One such business is Ambic, a medium-sized and successful engineering firm at Stella Girl Industrial Estate, run by a local entrepreneur and local business leader who cares about equipping our communities with the right skills for business, together with the future for our new generations of employees.
We have a multidisciplinary business. We have metalworking, precision woodworking, CNC machines. We do our own powder coating, we have our own photography section, we print our own catalogues, we do everything in-house.
David is involved in an exciting project called Partnerships for the Future, a business-led partnership involving secondary and further education and business leaders. Its objective is to connect people who need a job with real jobs identified by our employers, now and in the future. One emerging project is the creation of a new apprentice college placed directly within the business environment.
We would have an apprenticeship college within this business where we would train all of our employees. There wouldn't be a woodworker, an accountant, a typist, a receptionist, semi-skilled and unskilled people. There's kids out there who are riding motorbikes around on the hills because they enjoy being mechanics. Now we should be channeling that enthusiasm and skills that they've got to be mechanics.
The diversity of our business community extends to world-class tourism venues, and Riverside Park is the home to the Durham County Cricket Club and an international cricket venue. It is also a regional attraction as a formal park and sports training ground with exciting new plans.
Over recent years, Riverside's really begun to establish itself as a very important venue, not simply in Chester Street and County Durham, but for the whole of the North East region. I think what people don't always appreciate is that we're the biggest single private sector employer in the district of Chester Street. With our development plans, that's going to increase significantly. As an organisation, we turn over £6 or £7 million a year. And that's reflected in visitor numbers of, perhaps up to £250,000 plus. Our development plans over the next 2 or 3 years include something like £45 million worth of capital investment, which will create over 150 to 200 jobs in the district itself. And one of the huge benefits of Riverside is its location. We're situated right in the heart of the North East region. Fantastic road links, just a matter of minutes from the A1M. Our big challenge going forward will be to encourage other visitors who do not want to depend upon cars to be able to use us. At the moment, the A167 sort of cuts through our linkages between the Riverside itself and the town centre, and it's important going forward that we link with the master plan for the town centre.
One of the many challenges facing the new authority, but one where people in our community have been working for some time and are all ready to support.
How that can be done is contained within a full town centre master plan, which has recently, very recently, achieved full consensus and consultation. It's a brand new shiny tool in the box. Somebody just needs to pick it up and use it.
Our community leisure activities have helped to bring forward a number of very special events to bring together all people within our communities and to celebrate diversity. One example being the highly successful It's a Knockout event.
The people with disabilities don't have the opportunity very often to join in a leisure pursuit with people without disabilities. And the mixture of the two in this event has broken down many barriers. People have confidence, they've developed friendships, but most of all they've had fun.
To see the kids themselves encouraging the other ones who were disabilities, but they were just actually all the same, and everybody was encouraging everybody, and which I think it should be a lot more. I would like to see the new council take that even further and further, instead of segregation being on, put everybody together.
There is a successful formula. You don't even have to go looking at how to do it. We could easily transplant it into other areas or into one large, prestigious event. And in the run-up to the Paralympics and the ordinary Olympics, I am sure you would like to get on board and show what Durham can do.
Working together with our communities is at the heart of our district regeneration strategy, which seeks to take advantage of the strategic positioning of the area, the richness and cultural activities of the people who live here, commercial attractiveness of developing our town and villages, and the business confidence of those who have located here. The regeneration strategy is centred around the creation of new hearts to our towns and villages. It is community-led and has been adapted to meet very different needs and the capacities of our communities who are at various stages of development. It is not easy work, but we have some real stars who have come forward to help in regenerating our villages and town.
It's all voluntary work that's done, apart from having one admin worker who is funded, but we're now sustaining our own caretaker. We are self-sustained as far as that goes. So really we're quite proud. We just only hope that in the future the new unitary council gives us the backing to be able to help, so that we could at least go to them if we need help. A lot of people in Grangeville are worried in case they have to go far away, where now you can pick the phone up and you can speak to somebody in Chesley Street, or you can get on a bus and you can go down to Chesley Street. At the end of the day, speaking to somebody face to face is better than somebody on a telephone.
Our villages have differing needs and challenges, and by obtaining support from the council and other partners at the right time, we have helped to improve the capacity of our communities to move to the next stage.
It's taken a lot of hard work, but we have got here, and we're very proud of the building, and we want the whole community to be proud of the building. Looking forward, there's a lot that we still want to do. I mean, we've got a lot of people interested in wanting to hold things here and get other groups interested. Any help that we can get from the Unitary Council, I says, would be beneficial to us and hopefully to them, because they're going to improve on the facilities that we already have.
Our villages are also at different stages of environmental, social and economic regeneration, with variations in the way in which their communities have come together in informal and formal partnerships.
This whole project that you see behind us, with the new Community Resource Centre and the rebuilding of all of the homes and the bringing together of homeowners and people who are tenants, is about reforming that centre of gravity. It's about forming the community again. This centre, we hope, will be the vehicle, the hub that will draw everybody back together again, as a means of not only getting communication going again in the village, but also finding new experiences together, of learning together, developing new skills together, having a good time, something for all age groups. The fracture between the old and the young, we want to reset that and build that together again. And it's about how we can do that. It's going to be quite a challenge for us, because the history of the local involvement has been through the Pelton Fell Community Group. They've been a real source of inspiration to local residents, because they care about this place. It's where they live, and they've always had this vision for what the potential for the village is. It's in a beautiful area. We've got the Congburn Valley and the Twiselburn Valley, and Pelton Fell's in the midst of that, 1.5 miles away from the lovely town of Chesley Street. So how can we ensure that Pelton Fell actually achieves its true potential? How can we ensure that the young people who live in this village actually achieve their full potential? Do we have a sense of what that actually means for kids who often go to the local comprehensive and perhaps 30% will achieve 5 grades A to C, unlike further down the road in other areas where 60, 70, 80% will do that? Why is that? What's happened in our community that's allowed that to happen? And how can we see that glass get fuller and fuller and that potential realised for everybody here? Like all great visions, you know, they can be utopian. And what is the hardest thing often is to take the first step. And we want you to be with us every step of the way. Come and be with us on that journey for the next 5 to 10 years. And I'm sure together we will achieve a lot. Thank you.
The new council certainly inherits a lot that is already in place upon which to build strong and safe communities, and in doing so to improve the economy and well-being of the people who live and work here. The area is very attractive commercially, but needs to be developed sensitively so as not to spoil the very attractiveness of the environment that can bring in external finance. There are clearly significant challenges that lie ahead, and even though there are many strong partnerships in place, a number of our partnerships in the voluntary sector are very effective, but nevertheless remain fragile due to very limited resources. In handing over the baton, we, the Chesley Street communities, would seek to work effectively with Durham County Council to help us to shape our future. A future that needs careful consideration of how we can work with our ageing population and our young people and respond to the challenges they have for us.
The new unitary authority needs to respect the wishes of the local people and their traditions and things like that. I just think it needs to enable some of the poorest people in our community to enable themselves, and that doesn't mean leading them by the hand. It just means representing their interests, respecting their traditions so that their legacy can go on into the future. If you get that right, then the legacy will just fulfill itself. The authority need to look at things like transport for young people in the area and see how that affects them. I mean, bus price rises and things like that have affected people, especially young people, especially in outlying mining villages, hit people hard. And leisure facilities in the past, when you have to pay £1.50 to get into Chesley Street just to go for a swim or to get to the gym, and with obesity levels on the rise and things like that, these are the things that young people need. The unitary authority needs to provide for people not just academic skills but also the more hands-on skills. I mean, this country wasn't just built by people with a textbook, it was built by plumbers and carpenters and iron workers and steel workers, and those people need to be taught as well.